So to access the data portal, go to Get Connected and go to the data portal. Going through to there, you will end up on the data portal landing screen, and you can go through to our Open Datasoft portal. We also have some additional data sets down at the bottom and a data catalog which talks you through all the various different data we have available on the website. So progressing through to the Open Datasoft portal, you'll initially be asked to log in or register. If you create an account and register and then log in, you'll then be taken through to the home screen on the Open Datasoft portal. Within the data portal, there are a number of quick access tabs that are already available, and these will produce filtered data sources for you, including things like our embedded capacity register, our HV network capacity heat maps, and our flexible services maps. We also have access to the corresponding filtered data below. So if I go through and I want to get access to something like flexible services data, what I can do is I can go to the data tab and I can go to our flexible filter, and that will bring up a filtered list of the various different filtered data sets we have available. And if you have a look on here, you'll see the types of data capabilities that we have just for this type of data. We can choose tables, analysis, exports, and APIs. Other data sets we have include thematic models. So clicking into one of these data sets, I'm going to choose our flexible services tender requirements. So going in here, there is initial information about the particular data set that you're accessing. There is a table of the data that we are demonstrating for this particular one. This is the competition data for the next flexible services tender that we're running. We have a map available on the website, and if you click on any of the icons within the map, you can view the particular requirements for every particular window, giving postcodes, voltages, maximum requirements. So another useful tool that the mapping has is I can draw a polygon filter around particular data areas that I'm interested in, and that will give me a filter of that particular data set and show me only data that's within that area. So anywhere where I go within this data, whether I go through the tables, the analysis, the export, I will then get that filtered data set of only things that are within that boundary. Within the analysis tool, I can run various different analyses on the particular requirements, and I can choose my filter criteria and my sort criteria from the X and Y axis data and change what I want within that data set. I can then go on to export the data in a number of various different formats, and I can choose to either export the whole data set, or I can choose to export just the filtered data that I've filtered from the left-hand side of the screen. And we have the capability to export the requirements using an API, and on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the API call that you will need to put in, as well as you can build your own various different data source and create your own API code. As well as being able to see the data in this data format, what we can also do is we can create our own maps. So if I go into the mapping tab, then what I can do is I can choose from existing data sets and add them to my own custom map. So let's say, for example, I'm a flexible service provider and I'm interested in the current flexible services requirements. So I would select that data. And then what I might also be interested in is something like electric vehicle charge point data if I'm going to provide a service through aggregated EV charge points. So I can overlay those two data sets together. And as you can see the population density of electric vehicle charge points over the top of the map. Now, in terms of other useful views that might be useful to flexible service providers, so what I might want to do is I might want to change that over to a heat map type view. And as you can see, there's a number of different views available. So if I change that over to a heat map, then you can see that there are a high number of EV charge points in and around the Manchester area. So zooming in on that, I want to see if I've got any within areas where I've got any active tender. So what we can see is, although we've got a few various different clusters, the main one that I might be looking at is in and around this particular flexible service requirement. So what I can do from there is I can then apply an active filter to that particular set of data within that requirement zone. And then I've got a filtered version of that data. And I can view all of that data within the selected records columns. Or what I can also do is I could now change that back and see the individual charge point data for each particular asset. As well as the ENW data sets, there are also a number of external data sets that are available. So looking down the left-hand side of this screen, you can see that there are all available data sets. And there are a number of different other providers, languages available, and themes. So you can choose your various different data sets and add your own data on top of this screen. The other thing that we can do within this screen is we can change the mapping over to various different mapping formats. And then once we're done with it, we can then take that map and we can share that externally.